The Stream, sending you talk and music on a refreshing morning. Today's keyword is oil. Yes, oil. To say that oil is a material we cannot do without in our daily lives would not be an overstatement. In other words, an unending stream of petroleum products has been created in society. How are the petroleum products of the Nippon Oil Corporation made? In this video, you can get a glimpse of the distant oil road and the latest oil technology. Your choice of energy, Nippon Oil Corporation, well known as the Eneos brand, will inform you. Giving life to oil and supporting people's daily lives. This is the Nippon Oil Corporation's unchanging mission. Fuel for ships, cars, and jet planes. And kerosene for heating. All are essential to our lives. Also, as an energy source for electric power plants and factories. As a raw material for synthetic plastics for PET bottles and other items, use extends to every nook and cranny of our society and daily life. About half of Japan's energy use relies on oil, and almost 100% of that oil relies on imports from overseas. And over 80% of that is imported from Middle Eastern countries. As what can be called a mission for society, what is needed to ensure a stable supply of petroleum products? Crude oil is transported to Japan from Persian Gulf countries via the 12,000-kilometer-long oil road over 20 days. Part of this crude oil is stored at the Kire terminal in Kagoshima, the world's largest such facility, a so-called private reserve. It fulfills part of the national policy. In this way, the crude oil carried to Japan is refined by Nippon Petroleum Refining Company, a member of the Nippon Oil Group. With 7 refineries distributed evenly across the country, they efficiently convert the crude oil into various petroleum products. Now let's take a look at the oil technology which Nippon Oil develops day and night. There is an amazing sequence in oil technology which extracts all the power from that mysterious resource, oil. Imported crude oil is unloaded from the wharf and stored temporarily in crude oil tanks. Next, it is sent to what is called the heart of the refinery, the crude distillation unit, with a 50-meter-tall distillation tower. In this equipment, the various components of crude oil are fractionated or separated out. In order to understand the principle of fractionation, let's look at an experiment on the distillation of crude oil. As the temperature rises, the components with different boiling points evaporate in order. The crude distillation unit is equipment which makes use of this principle. First, the crude oil is heated to more than 350 degrees Celsius in the heating furnace. Crude oil steam is then blown into the bottom of the crude distillation unit. Inside, as the steam rises, the temperature drops and the fractions with different boiling points are drawn off. At the very top, the gas fraction is drawn off. The next fraction to be drawn off is naphtha. Naphtha will become gasoline for automobile fuel or a petrochemical raw material for plastics. Next is the kerosene fraction, which will become jet fuel and kerosene for heating. Then gas oil, which becomes fuel for trucks and buses. And finally, the residual oil will become heavy fuel oil or asphalt. The proportion of each fraction is actually fixed according to the kind of crude oil. For example, it is not possible to make just kerosene from crude oil. The distillation of crude oil into its various fractions in this way is the first step in the work of a refinery. But the oil technology of Nippon Oil continues much further. The sulfur oxides within each fraction can cause bad odors when burned or cause the deterioration of product quality and are removed by this desulfurizing unit. The chemical structure of the naphtha fraction is changed by catalytic reaction under high temperature and high pressure, and the reforming unit refines it into high-octane gasoline. One thing that should be noted is that the demand for petroleum products changes over the years. If we compare the 1970s and today, the demand for gasoline and gas oil has increased, while the demand for fuel oils has decreased. However, since the proportions of the fractions which are extracted from the crude oil by distillation are fixed, technologies to flexibly manufacture the necessary amounts of the necessary products are essential for today's refineries. For this purpose, there are various types of cracking units. By using catalysts and other means, the low-demand fuel oil is cracked to create lighter petroleum products such as gasoline to meet the demands of the age. In addition, from part of the residual oil, various lubricating oils to help engines and machinery run smoothly are manufactured. These are the various petroleum refining processes which have been cultivated over many years. Starting with the distillation of crude oil through processes such as desulfurizing, reforming, and cracking, Nippon Oil manufactures products of high quality. The environmentally friendly, high-quality, high-octane gasoline Eneos Vigo, low-sulfur gas oil, and low-fuel consumption engine oil are all created from the technology of Nippon Oil. The refineries of Nippon Oil in manufacturing superior environmentally friendly products have implemented a full range of measures to ensure safety and the protection of the surrounding environment. To ensure clean air, we remove sulfur oxides in the tail gas treater and collect soot using an electric precipitator. We thoroughly control water quality in the wastewater treatment facility. And in order to be in harmony with the surrounding environment, we have implemented a multitude of environmental protection measures, such as the establishment of a green belt. In addition, oil release countermeasures, such as stretching an oil fence around tanker vessels, are carried out. And to prepare for an accidental fire, we've established systems for fire prevention and firefighting. This unceasing attitude has been highly praised, and all refineries of Nippon Oil have been certified under ISO 14001 as facilities which are actively dealing with protection of the global environment. The central control room controls processes and monitors pollution at the refinery 24 hours a day. A high-level integrated production system using the latest computer technology has contributed greatly to this work. Finally, each product extracted using the various oil technologies is shipped after undergoing strict inspections for quality. To factories and power plants throughout the country by coastal tankers or pipelines. To intermediate terminals by tank car. And by tank trucks to the Eneos service stations, the largest network in Japan, continuing to supply petroleum products without interruption. And in the area of lubricating oils, in addition to domestic Japan, products are being sold throughout China and Southeast Asia. Looking toward the future, the Nippon Oil Corporation is working to become an integrated energy enterprise. In particular, with the relaxation of regulations in the electric power industry, the business of generating electrical power is being developed at refineries throughout Japan. In addition, in order to ensure a stable supply of oil, which greatly affects the international situation, the Nippon Oil Corporation is focusing efforts on crude oil exploration and development. This project is being carried out in areas throughout the world and has already begun to achieve great results, such as in Vietnam. Well, this seems to be almost the end of our drive. Nippon Oil Corporation, manufacturing stable petroleum products and efficiently distributing them throughout our petroleum-supported society. Providing an abundant menu of various petroleum products and striving to satisfy all customers. Your choice of energy. Nippon Oil Corporation's unchanging stance is to always provide a full menu of a multitude of energy types for the present as well as for future generations.